Hey, thank you for joining us today. I hope this video finds you in good fortune. Today I am joined with the team from IAMX. And IAMX, if you're unsure what IAMX is, it's the Global Identity System. I'm going to have them talking to us today and really excited about this project. They have a lot of information to give you. So just sit back, grab yourself a drink, and hear what they have to say. Would you like to introduce yourself, Tim?
Yes, hi Jonathan. Thanks for having us here.
Yeah, my pleasure.
It's nice for us. You are one of the first people we present the project live to. And let me introduce a little bit to the team first. So my name is Tim. I am one of the co-founders and I am doing the marketing. So it's a CMO. Then we have Tim Heidfeld, another Tim. Don't get mixed up. These guys are very similar. And Tim is our CEO. And he has a very, very long history in mobile telecommunication. He founded a company, sold it some years ago. So he is the one, together with me, we have a quite long history in mobile phone. Then we have Dennis here, our chief architect. He's the guy when it comes to the code, to the dev. He is really, really, really deep into it. So if their questions are going very deep, Dennis is always with us. Then we have our friend Andre from Norway. He's our really very fresh. It's also his first official appearance with us. He is our community lead, and we are really happy to have one. So he will sort a little bit of all these AMAS interviews because we think this is quite important that everybody knows. We have not with us Jochen, who is also one of the co-founders. He's our CTO. He's working for a famous German sports car company and is, I think right now still in a meeting with the guys there. He's right in the center of Stuttgart. I'm in Düsseldorf, and Tim is also in Düsseldorf. Dennis is close to Düsseldorf, and Andre is in Norway, very up in the north in Norway. And Tromsø. So you know a little bit where we are and what we do. So this is the most important people now I mentioned. We have a quite nice advisor. I like to point out Andre Forsen. He is working for Emogo also and is our head of Africa. Very fresh. He will take care about that. We have a nice cooperation already with VADA Alliance. And this is also a connection point for Andrew. And Andrew couldn't join here, but you will see him later in the next future. He will be with us also. So what's interesting, you have a little bit a team now, and what we are, I think what is very special about our project is, so first of all, it's SSI, self-sovereign identity. We are strongly working on a decentralized identity model and ecosystem, which should be used always everywhere in the world. Starting with KYC processes, starting with having assets, starting with the first thing that we have a lot of people still in Africa are not identified.
I tell you what, let me pull up the most recent information. Let me start. Let me share this information real quick so everybody will know. And this is on your website. This is on your website if they want to go and check it out themselves. It's a very detailed paper. There's a lot of information here. And as you were talking about, it's a token-based identity system and the benefits of it. If you just want to, go over some of that as you were saying there.
Yes, I think first of all, it's very important for people to know we are not coming from SSI in the basic. We are coming from, which I already introduced, we are coming from the telecommunication business in Germany. And what we found out is we have fraud problems also in Germany. So there are telephone companies we work with. We know we sell the contracts, but finally we don't get our commission for it. Why? Because sometimes it's fraud. This is a problem with us. We had this problem in mind, and it's quite a problem where we spend a lot of marketing costs, a lot of costs to sell these contracts, and the return doesn't come in. Yeah, so we found a problem and dig very deep into it, and finally we found out we can solve this problem. And Tim Heidfeld will tell you a little bit deeper about it later. We found the problem is we need to identify who the people who are ordering these telephone contracts. This is where we started. This is very important to know. And when we found out that, we go to people, we talk to people who are deeply into SSI. And we just coming back this week, we visit two of our advisors in Vienna, which is Marcos Zabadello from Danube Tech, which he is very, very long in SSI. Since 15 years, he founded lots of companies in decentralized identity and also in the SSI content. And we also visit Michael Chia, who is also a known person in the SSI surrounding. So this is for us that people know, because we get a lot of questions to SSI, and this is usually answered, if it's very deep, by our advisors.
Yeah,
so
and and as you were mentioning, and the fraud, you were talking about the fraud, but also I know you were starting to touch on the Africa thing, which is something that's very important to me. If you don't have an ID, you can't prove any kind of property, and it's just very important. I think a lot of times that we take our identification, we take it for granted, but there's a lot of people out there that don't have IDs that can't prove who they are, can't prove what they owned. They don't have any kind of links to any kind of their assets. They can work their whole life and then it'd be taken away. And this is liberating people and allowing them to actually be able to acquire assets and keep them.
yes, we have already some we heard some stories. For example, we had our first Twitter space was with Jeremy Pfister from the Cardano Foundation. And there was a guy popping up, said he was from Mexico, and said, yeah, it's a big problem in Mexico that the drug lords came to your house and say, go away. Yeah, they kick you out of your house, and you have to prove afterwards, hey, that was my house 5 years ago. I like to go back there. It's not possible because they couldn't prove. Then we have another example from Africa, from a telco company. I think it was Zanzibar, that 11 people work with one SIM card, the card you put in your mobile phone, the SIM card. Because why it's 11 people using one card? They can not have their own card because the identity is missing. So there are a lot of problems in developing countries, or countries where the political situation is a little bit uncertain. And these are countries where we have more a social indicated approach, as in the developed countries is a more a commercial approach we should follow.
Right. And one question I have is, what does the decentralized, what does it look like, the decentralized system on your project? How is this going to be? Because, that's key, not only to have an ID, but for it to be decentralized so that it can't be taken away from you or anything like that. How does that work? That's one thing.
Yeah, this is something I think for Tim, if you like to answer it, because it's your special playground. So I give it over to Tim.
So there are different figures in the market. They range from 2 billion to 3 billion people who have no identity at all. 1/3 of them are children. And what we are trying to contribute is a biometric identity. And this is so important because without identity, like you said, Jonathan, there is no ownership and no whatsoever. So like you have no ticket to participate in whatsoever. And our goal is to provide this for free for all human beings. So we consider the identity as a human right, and we would like to deliver the solution on this based on the decentral storage. And one thing that we support this storage is in ledger-based technology. So we support any ledger. Cardano is the first that we will start with. And this is so important because when you have an identity, you can take out microloans. You can, like you say, prove your ownership of a real estate or of a certain piece, or the business cases differ whether you are in a developed market or whether you are in an emerging market. And so there are always two corporations that we look for. One is for the telecommunication partners because they have pre-authenticated data that can be used to prove this. And the other one is our terminal, what is hardware, software, in order to also make this possible.
Right. Yeah, this is very important that everything's going to be tied to our personal devices very soon, and so this is very important. All right. Well, let's see what this paper here. I'm sure this explains. I've briefly read over it, a lot of it, and you not only have not only the idea, but you have the biometrics going on here. You're going to have the face, the iris, the fingerprints. So all that's going to be tied in, and like you said, that's going to be done through our personal devices as well. You
the
want to speak
storage
on
is
this?
in the personal devices, Jonathan.
Okay.
So the storage is so you don't need a computer. What is good? You don't need a notebook. What is good? You need a phone, and
Okay.
there are smartphones and phones in Africa that only cost 15 euros. But we also try to just address also the people that are listening right now, or the people in the Western Hemisphere that probably have at least one or two phones somewhere laying in their home. It would be great if you can share them with us, because we would dedicate them to the people in Africa, the unbanked, the people that have no identity, because this is their connection to the world. And this is what we are trying to achieve.
Now, do you have a fund set up for that, or is there maybe a staking pool that we could stake to, or is there that we could, everybody's not really probably going to want to send a phone, but they might want to contribute resources anyway. Is there a way, or is that something that you guys are working on, or?
Yes, we have a stake pool that is, we are since quite a while we talked with MELD, also before MELD signalizes that they end their ISPO, and we're just talking about how can we interact, what can we do together in the future, and then it popped up that they told us it would be great if you are one of our partners giving our delegators to you. And this was the first, I think, the first time when we really popped up that people say, oh, who's IAMX? They are partnering with MELD. And it was a very nice gesture of MELD that they like their delegator to stake with us. So we have a stake pool called IAMX, and the money we get out of it, we use to build up the terminals in Africa. That is the topic. It's not a really official ISPO. We started, it was like MELD was saying, come on, we finished, so we can hand over. We love your project. We love your attitude that you like to do something in Africa. And we told them that these, you see it now, thanks a lot, the terminals, you can also buy something from it, but you can also make your identity. So it's for everybody in Africa. And we like to focus our money that we raise through the short ISPO we got from MELD, we will dedicate it to build up terminals. We plan to make another ISPO. I was talking already with Andre about it, that we like to have an ISPO with just small stake pools. So as I'm coming from the Cardano community, I opened a pool beginning of the year, and I know how tough it is to survive as a small single SPO who has not big roots in the community or has lots of ADA lying around. We don't have that, so we really have to fight to build up our pool. It's called Azul, and I like the same people who are struggling a little bit to get over these 2 millions. that we just like to work with small ISPOs who are professionally driven, who have the attitude to do a little bit marketing, and it should be 30 to 40 pools out of the community, and they will be selected from me and Andre. This is then, that will be pop up next year, but you can already start, staking with IAMX, what we already set up. It will be more or less the same, but with the other pools, we have to amend a little bit how we do it now, because it should be really something, give back to small pools. It is very important. So this we will reveal next year, beginning of next year, end of January, something like that.
Well, that's definitely something to look forward to, and I'm sure people will be interested in. So if I understand you correctly, you're going to set up like a community, you're going to have community run pools, kind of like, I don't know if you're familiar with the Sunday Swap project, but what they did was they chose people out of the community to actually host their pools for them. Is that what I understand? There's going to be like, you're going to have a process where maybe people can sign up and use their pools dedicated specifically for your for the IAMX project. Is that, do I understand that correct?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
But we will do it with small pools. That's very important.
Yeah.
I think I love what Sunday Swap is doing. I really think that I love it that they use the community and give back to the community. Our approach will be differ a little bit because we really like to focus on the small pools. And so far, we will have more pools, but it should be really like something should be more deeper in the community. And we have lots of small pools. They all have to fight a lot to stay alive. And we have to focus on this because this is our infrastructure. Huh? We all built on Cardano. And so it's very important to have a stable basis. And we like to establish this stable basic and use this also for our ISPO. And we are lucky to have Andre with us. Andre is a long time in the Cardano community, and he knows which pools are the ones we should work with. And we are ready for IAMX, also for this perhaps also something you'd like to know. Also within IAMX, we already have people who have pools who work with us, like Quixote's pool from Spain. He's working with us in IAMX. We have Eagle pool from, I think, close to Washington. So we are really focusing on getting people from the community working with us. And we had already, we asked already a lot of people, but it's sometimes a little bit different or difficult to get feedback because we are still small. We don't have so much followers. But yeah, we can use also this possibility today. So if you're a small pool, please dedicate a small email to me or to Andre. And yeah, we love to talk to you next year.
Yeah, and your website is iamx.id, and anybody that's watching can find this information that we're looking at on there about the biometric ID, and then your contact information as well, I'm sure, to look into the stake pools. I understand that MELD is also offering services through your kiosk here. Is that correct?
Yes, we will partner also directly on the screen with MELD. So you can use or you can onboard through the terminals and use the MELD ecosystem then.
And you already have a bunch of these. You already have like what? It's 120, I think it was, of these set up.
Yes, that we will install in Africa. This one you see here on the picture is standing in CNA. It's a vertically integrated textile company in Germany. It's a little bit comparable with H&M, but much older. And it's a very big family. They come out of Düsseldorf, so it was very easy for us, or it was easy to get in the first contact and develop it. We developed this terminal with our other company, handy.de, where we sell our telecom products. And this came out of this space, and it is working since 1 year now.
Wow. So, okay. So this is up. You're up and running right now.
Yes. We are not people who say, hey, we have dreams. For sure, we have dreams, and it's quite big dreams. But all we present is made and it's working. We are not good in telling people something and it's not there. So we are not,
dreams are nice, but it's better when you start see it come to
fruition.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
And now, is there going to be in the future date? Is there going to be quite possibly a place where like I could sign in into your website and receive an ID or access your services that way, or how is that going to work? Like say for me in the United States, or how is that going to work?
Yes, we will. The terminal onboard possibility, and we have onboard possibilities from existing telco clients. And this will be more or less the onboard possibilities. We didn't plan now on our web to have an onboard possibility on our website because you need it must be the credentials you have, your name must be approved. So it's if we have an onboarding process through our website, it's very tough to see if it's really Jonathan or someone else.
Okay.
So perhaps we'll have a technique for this, but what we have now is a terminal, and we have another onboarding process through telecom companies. More we can't tell now.
Okay. All right. Very well. Well, that's to come. I'm interested in hearing about that.
Yes, it will
Right.
be.
I think your mic just went off. Yeah, check your mic.
Maybe I can take over, Tim Brückmann, whether you
Yeah.
can hear me. You are muted. So, Jonathan, what was your question again, please?
Oh, well, we were talking about the onboarding process, and
Okay, so
yeah.
we have two sources of this, okay? Number one is mass onboarding. Mass
Mm-hmm.
onboarding is via telecommunication companies. Why? Because they have done a pre-authentication process with millions of their customers, and we just, convince them to use this data in further business cases. And the second one is for people that are completely unbanked and that maybe do not have a telecommunication contract right now. For this, we developed the terminal, and the terminal has the highest level of identity and authentication. And it's also accepted, what is really, really rare in the banking sector, because it's fully conform with any anti-money laundering policy.
Nice, nice.
And
Yeah, I
for
was looking
this, we are
down.
the first in the world.
I was looking down here at your the marketplace approach. So by
Yes.
de facto, yeah, and you're already establishing yourself. So this is this is happening right now. This
Yes.
isn't something that's going to happen or like Tim was saying, an idea or a dream, but this is something that's happened right now, and now's the time, the grassroots, to get to become involved in this project. Again, I know we're going to get into it, but at the end of the MELD ISPO, there was an option. They MELD post a link to IAMX ISPO, and if you want to get involved, then their ISPO is running right now, and you can stake your Cardano in their ISPO, and this is something that's happening right now, right as we speak. So.
Yes, this was a great honor for us because we highly appreciate what all the things that MELD have developed. And it was a great honor to us when MELD says, okay, for the Know Your Customer, we choose IAMX. So
That's
this
right.
is really cool.
Yeah, it's all about the partnerships, and if you can link arms together with with people, the more people that you can become partners with, in my opinion at least, confirms a project. Not to mention your team. Your team is already an incredible team. So so that's another thing that encourages me about this project. And
Thank you.
so let's see. Well, here's the team right here. If you
Yes,
want to,
all the friendly people.
yeah, if anybody wants to do a deep dive, again, their website is imx.id, and this paper is on there. This is their and their teams here. You can come on their website, find out about the team, look into it, and see if this is a project that you want to be involved with. I'm sure after checking the team out, then I'm sure you'll want to get involved in this project and their ISPO right at this point.
May I add
Um,
something
yeah,
regarding, we have
go ahead.
skipped over this, but I think you have to go back to the completely top. And what I would like to just maybe quickly mention is not something referring to the emerging markets in Africa and Asia, but especially to the well-developed markets like USA and Europe, where we are living in. So what we see here, and you're on the perfect slide there, what we see there is what we really do. And I think, I mean, Jonathan, how often have you put your name and your street and where you live into a form? It usually takes 5 minutes. And then dependent on which products you buy, you have a form of ident. And the more important the product is, it's like a know your customer. So you have to do a more severe know your customer process. So what basically we are doing, and I'm not trying to use any difficult words, is that we use pre-authenticated data with any other verifier. This is the main thing that we are doing. And from a customer perspective, let's say Jonathan and the Tim perspective, this is just, that you can do everything that you want in less than a second. So it's only one click, because any verifier has the ability to trust pre-authenticated data. So no more form filling, no more ident. And this is just incredible, because from a customer perspective, you save time. Time is valuable. You save money because the verifiers save money, and it's in the greatest convenience. So when you're familiar with those Web 1 reading, Web 2 interacting, but Facebook and Google owning it, we are bringing the identity into your ownership, because Jonathan, Tim, and Dennis and Andrews on the call, we own our identity. So basically what we are trying to achieve is to make this possible, to bring our little piece of contribution to make this possible. And this, from the technology point of view, this is already working in the developed markets where we are living in. But also the very good thing is that in the markets that have not been developed so far, that it's the basis, the foundation, the basis is the identity and of ownership and stuff. And we have our first product live here in Germany with a telecommunication partner, just to prove the concept. The terminal that you have showed, by the way, has a height of 3 meters. It weighs 260 kilos. So the reason for this is because we have been developing this with another company since the past 3 years, but we have just recently discovered that this is like the missing piece for Web 3.0, and this is why we are pushing it so hard.
Yeah, I know. I've run into KYC and with different companies and this and that. It would be very nice if all the information was consolidated in one place, accurate, verifiable by both parties.
Correct.
This is definitely needed, and this is the way. This is where we're going. So this is it's already started, and this is where we're going. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing. I'm sure everybody's going to want to become involved. So
tokenomics.
You want to go down to tokenomics?
There, right?
All right, let's go down to tokenomics.
I took you away from tokenomics. Maybe I can give a word on this. So
sure.
Maybe I can start with a macroeconomic approach, just that you understand what we have done there. First of all, we are a utility token. This means that our token can be exchanged for a certain service. And the service that we promise that can be delivered via our token is to store your identity or something that you want to prove in a decentral way, number one. And number two is that for any verifier, we are able to prove this. And when you invest in crypto and when you understand the different forms of token, you always understand the biggest thing that you need to solve is balance. Making it simple, when you put too many tokens in the market, the price will drop as hell. And when you don't have enough tokens in the market, the price is too high. So it's very difficult to have the right amount in the market, right, Jonathan?
Right.
So we thought the best thing is to learn from life, from biology, from how populations develop. And a very famous mathematician, I don't know whether I pronounce it right, Fibonacci, he has found out how populations grow. And this is the Fibonacci sequence that you are just showing.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like, we are not, interfering in the market. We have just, created like a DNA into our token that rewards usage, because we want usage. Jonathan, you as a customer, you want usage. And let's say Tim Brückmann would be a verifier, a company, he also wants usage. So rewarding usage means whenever somebody, puts their identity on the chain, or a verifier needs to do some kind of verification process, the first owner is rewarded via the principles of Fibonacci. This is how he described the development of certain populations, also like Darwin did. Okay, and this means that when you have one IAMX token to function in the way that I just described, being a utility token, when you use it, you get a reward. This means when you use it, you get one back. If the second one is used, you get two back. And if you use those two ones for whatever reasons, either storage, writing it on the chain, or verification, you get three back, and then you get five back. So in total, this is like Fibonacci found out in the development of populations. We just reward the usage, and therefore we ensure that always the correct amount, the right amount of token is in the market. And I think this is the first model where a token is from design connected to what it should do. I don't know whether this was understandable, because I have never seen something like what we have done before.
Yeah, this is new, but I tell you, it's genius. It's kind of a self-balancing
Yes.
economic system, and
Yes. You
if
understand it
anybody,
fast. Wow.
oh,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah, I'm very familiar with the with the
Okay.
sequence. If
Okay.
anybody
Wow.
wants to look into this sequence, you can do a search on the way pine cones or seashells are formed, and there's a number of plants that are formed in this very sequence. Nature is formed in this sequence. As Tim was saying, populations. Um, everything is math. Everything is math, and I think this is very interesting, intriguing, and I'm very excited to see how this is going to work out. I think it's going to be very successful. I really do. I like this system. So if anybody wants to, again, here's this paper is on their website. But if you're having trouble, for anybody that might be having trouble understanding the system, just look up, different kind of golden ratios or the way things grow, and you'll find a nice plant video with more than likely with the sequence explained in it in layman's terms. So
Why are you
you really nailed it.
knowledge
Really
in
good.
Fibonacci, Jonathan?
I'm sorry.
How comes your knowledge in Fibonacci so well, especially for nature, from sea urchins? I like it.
I study. I was studying is what I do. I study.
Okay.
So yeah, that's kind of my hobby. I have lots of hobbies, but studying is one of my hobbies, and I like to learn. So
Yeah.
anyway, all right. Well, what else do you gentlemen want to talk about?
There's one thing that I would like to add, but you have to decide, Jonathan. You have to stop me whether it's going too much into detail. But the main thing that we have solved here is the question of mass onboarding. So what I always take is the example. Which city are you from, by the way?
I'm in Jacksonville. I'm located in Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay, Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Jacksonville, Florida. By the way, I went to high school in Naples, Florida, but just for a
Okay.
year. So let's say
Excellent.
in Jacksonville, we both, you and me, Jonathan, would own a marketplace, a physical marketplace, where you go and buy your fruits or whatever. The problem with every marketplace is, although you maybe have the best spot in town, that also the balance is important regarding how many customers come to the marketplace and how many selling booths are there. So when you have only customers and no selling booths, they will never come back. When you have only selling booths and no customers, they will also not come back. So balance is very important. And in order, to make Web 3.0 really work, and not just, to talk about this, how fancy it is, the key is to bring the customers. And the customers, the main source of the customers that we can onboard are coming from the telecommunication companies. Why? Because they have millions of pre-authenticated customers. And the thing that we have solved there is to offer a solution for the telecommunication companies to onboard all their customers. So the benefit that they have, the telco, is we deliver them a new revenue stream, a revenue stream that they didn't have before. AT&T USA has 106 million customers, and they have a loss of 3.8 billion. All the other in the emerging markets, in the developed markets, they also only make about $6 profit per year. So via our solution, we are able to bring them a revenue stream based on their pre-authenticated data. Let's say you have all the customers and you have pre-authenticated them, and you would ask me, Tim, I have already pre-authenticated this. Would you like to use it? Yes, no. And many verifiers can do this because you have done this in a very good manner. So
right. The
the
information
very,
is
very
already
good
there.
thing, yes, and the very good thing is that all the customers then can, buy Netflix, buy continuous obligations, do hotels, flights, e-commerce, shopping, loans in one click. And this is so fast. And we just, share our revenues 50-50. And the revenues that we get are the regular revenues that you have in e-commerce models. But this market is massive. So this is our biggest contribution, that we bring in the customers. Our biggest differentiation is not because we are like rocket science and technology, is that we can bring in customers, and that we can help telcos, of course, to drive a new revenue stream, but also the customers to interact in a much more simple way than before. Like you, Jonathan, if you use our services, you will never, ever in your life need to fill out one form again. There's never in your life again where you have to do an ident or know your customer. And because also the verifiers save money on this, they give the money to you like a rebate, so like a discount. So you even get it cheaper than before. So if you boil it down, it's like the building piece that we have done, and we are just on the layer of enabling those so-called verifiable credentials. They enable smart contracts. They make Web 3.0 work. They make like also a metaverse work, because you always need legally binding actions in a click or whatever. And this is fantastic, and this has been developed by us, and therefore we are very happy to share this and to develop solutions that fit for emerging markets and also that fit for developed markets. And we are happy to take any questions also from your audience and also from you, because it is not something that we dream about or that we plan or that we say we are building a terminal or that we are saying we have no telcos. So maybe, if we do a follow-up beautiful interview with you, Jonathan, in a year, I hope there's much more to show.
Yeah. Well, and like you said about the overhead, this is very important. This is a key point too, as well. This is going to do away with a lot of overhead, not only on the part of enterprises, on the side of enterprises, but as more people enter the realm of cryptocurrency and metaverses and this and that, I don't know about other people, but right now I probably have 10 or 12 wallets. And it's crazy. It just gets crazy. And this would be a consolidation factor. This is going to save people that have multiple wallets for multiple uses. This is going to save them in their time as well. And I think that's a very key point, not only, like I said, for enterprises, for phone companies or for credit bureaus or property rights people, but for the individual as well.
I have also one thing that you would love, really, Jonathan, because when you say you have 12 wallets, you have many key phrases, right?
Yeah, it's.
And when you lose them, what happens?
Well, luckily I haven't lost them. I know
Yeah, but
some
what
people
happens
have.
then?
You're done.
Okay, and what's the difference between us?
Hmm.
You don't need to remember anything because we have your eyes, your face, your fingerprints. So forget everything. You can always re-access every data that you stored with us because biometric eyes, face, fingerprints still enrolled. This is the most unique identifier in the world and just named 4, and we all chain them. So you can forget everything. And this happens to many people. So many Bitcoins and ETH and whatever, they are lost in space. This also happens to me. It just happens. But isn't it nice when you lose everything, you just go to our terminal and say, okay, can I re-access with my iris because it's unique?
Right.
Yes, you can.
Now, what is now? I don't know if you want to talk about this or you're prepared to talk about this or not, but what is it? What is a safeguard? I'm sure you've put in some safeguards from people like saying pulling my picture off of social media or something like that, and then trying to access accounts or something. Do you have a system in place, or
Yes.
how's that?
Yeah, this is a very good question, Jonathan,
Mm-hmm.
because we also received questions. Right now, we have a Catalyst proposal on the Cardano and received questions that I understand where they said, okay, your solution makes sense, but can we not do it with a smartphone? Yes, you can. But everything that we do, you have to judge out of the glasses like you're a bank, you're an insurance company, you're an e-commerce company. And the hardware and software components that we used are used on state level. When you entry, for example, Germany from a third party country, or when you put anything into filing, there are scanners and biometric cameras on a level that are able to tell whether a passport is fake or real. And why is this important? Because only when it's on the highest possible scientific level, any verifier can trust on this. So the solution that we are providing just gives you the possibility, let's say you would be the Jonathan Bank, to pay out a loan based on what we have pre-authenticated with our terminal because it's on such a high level. This makes those smart contracts, meaning asynchronous workflows independent of whether you are there or not, possible because the form of checking ID true, yes, no, and issuing credential only if Jonathan on the ID picture, Jonathan standing in front of the terminal, true, yes, no. Just because we are doing this, this is what makes it possible that this Web 3.0 really works. I don't know whether this was understandable or maybe too
Absolutely.
complex. Okay.
Yeah, it does it does
So
like an
you need really a
authentication with.
hardware on a state level and
Yeah.
also a software on a state level, not because we like it. We have no stakes in this, but if you put on the glasses of a bank and you need to, be fully compliant with anti-money laundering laws that are there in the world and with anti-terrorist financing, you cannot rely on smartphone pictures. There's no way.
That is correct.
You
Yeah.
need a technology that is expensive, but we are, providing this to the world. And we are also not, doing this for any reason. We're doing this for a reason because any ongoing transaction, when you have done this once, you can, use it in 60 business cases. And from those 60 business cases, we get the standard e-commerce revenues. And it's always free for the user, and the verifiers pays like 99% less than they do today.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well,
Jonathan, that's also important to get you to the revenue streams. We are coming from this affiliate marketing branch. So we are selling contracts with add-ons. We also make leasing cars bundled with a mobile contract. So we do a lot of bundles also. So we are coming from the world of affiliate marketing. And when you know that there is a commission comes back and you share it, for example, with the people who give you the pre-authenticated data to work with. We never get the real data. We just are able to work with this with our program or with our invention. And this is something which is important, that the blockchain technology. We use it. We are not invented the SSI movement. That's something sometimes people get us wrong. We just put everything together, what we could read and could find out. We went to people who are very deep in it and say, yes, it's good. You can use it. It's perfect what you invented. But the starting point was our knowledge in affiliate marketing and knowing what's the problem in telco companies, so that we never lose ground. It's very important that people know we know exactly how telecommunications and affiliate marketing companies are working, but because this we did since 25 years.
Maybe you could jump to a slide where it says stakeholder advantages. This is one of my last inputs. I think it's a little bit more to the upside, to the top, Jonathan, because it is something that I think it's important. It says stakeholder advantages. It looks like a table. Maybe it's a little bit higher, 1 or 2 slides higher. And what I wanted to show you there is why it also makes sense for people, stakeholders that you might not think about, like the state, for example. Now it's further down, but I can also speak freely about it. It's there.
Yeah, go ahead. I will find it.
Yes. No, it was there.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I will start with the state. Okay. And I do not only mean state. I also mean, Jonathan, for example, religious organizations. But I will start with the state. So usually in some countries and areas of the world, states, and we have to respect them, and we respect them, they say crypto is not allowed. Only a fiat is allowed that we do. And also religious organizations do this. The good thing is that our little thing, and we are just on the layer of, providing those credentials, and we have no other law for all the other things, is that satisfies all stakeholders. This means that when you use our technology in a smart contract, let's say you are a state, Jonathan, okay? You are the state of Florida, and for whatever reasons, you would only allow this if it, helps your taxes. We can put into a smart contract, into any smart contract, basing on our technology that, for example, VAT, value added tax, is directly exempted. So it's directly going to the state. We can also help that only a certain currency is accepted. We can help the telecommunication company that everything that they put into long contracts, this is, like contract law, is perfectly executed in code. So they are also happy. The telecommunication company also only gives out their SIM card if the payment is made. And the holder only does this if he gets the service. So this was a little abstract, but I think what we understood that state organizations, like also religious organizations, sometimes they do not want a currency. I just want to point out that we are able to fulfill the complete conformity with every stakeholder, and nobody is surprised because we will say this in advance. State is paid, verifier is paid, holder receives what he wanted, and this is just also there in a balance, I think, that has not been there before. And the good thing is it's only one click.
Right. And like as it says down here, it's talking about detecting fraud, payments, taxation, and things of that nature. You're talking about the state, and I can see where this tool is going to be very useful on many aspects, as you're talking about the state and the taxation and things of that nature, but also the fraud, limiting fraud. If everybody's tied to an ID, if one of these IDs are used, then we know exactly where things are going and what's happened. We have a record of what's going on, and again, avenues of revenue stream for the IAMX service is that taxation. People have their taxes done and things of that nature. So this isn't only taken over IDs and that area, but I mean this could be applied to multiple areas. So and have a revenue stream. I mean every business is in business to make money, and every company needs to make money to stay in business, and so there's multiple ways that this application can be applied in all different areas. I see where that's and be a benefit.
So we would be very happy when we have a business case that we can help you with something that bothers you the most. We are happy to maybe contribute a little bit of our solution. We started with the telcos because it's just our source of mass onboarding, and they tell us like Tim, we are using every form of credit check of the people, but out of 100, 8%, 8 out of 100, they never pay. This is so much money. And
Right.
6% are based on fraud. So they call their own, numbers that they own, where you pay a lot per minute. So, but it's paid by the telco, but the money goes into a company that they own, but the telco doesn't know. So the big picture is that telcos bury like 14% of EBITDA costs, taken from the top line of the revenues, they bury into process efficiencies. And the good thing is in the smart contract, you just say, okay, you mean contract law? Can you put it into a code? Yes, we can. But then those costs, they're not there anymore. And when you are able, just when you only solve half of this, if you are if you are able to only be able to save 7 out of 15% of the costs from a top line from a telecommunication company, it is incredible. This means, for example, that AT&T goes from a loss to break even. It is incredible.
Right, and this the benefits of that is that normally the consumer and the people that are actually buying and paying for the product and not going in debt over past their means to pay back, we end up usually paying for people that are delinquent. So I can see where this could work in in a cyclical fashion where if you're costing the company less money, if they're have less if their operating costs is lower, then that could maybe
Also there you
reciprocate
nailed
back
it.
to
Yeah, like I was very impressed already what you said like 5 minutes ago. Really very impressed. Also there you nailed it again, because the business cases that we onboard for the telcos, what we offer for them, for their customers, and usually they save 25, sometimes 50%, because the verifiers also save money. And this is just that
That's
is
considerable.
derived from how you do it.
Yeah, that's very considerable. That's a considerable amount when you're operating a business. All right. Well, you want to talk about the stake pools and how people could possibly become involved right now?
Yes, we can do it again. We just talked
Okay.
about it, but yeah, we have the IAMX pool, which
Okay.
is up and running. It was
All
built
right.
up to with MELD, so we will have this pool ongoing. We will also we pay rewards if we don't make a block. So we really are up for people that they stake with us, because we see it as also like a little bit of a social thing we have to do, because this money we use about it will be just used for building up the terminals in Africa.
Okay.
And we will start that. We are very sure about it that the first country in Africa will be Ghana. And we will come back to this when we are ready and have more information.
Now,
And in the future, we will do a ISPO with small pools. There will be me and Andre in the driver's seat.
okay. Now, how do the rewards work for the ISPO though? Or is the people that delegate to the ISPO, are they going to actually receive some of the IMX token, or how is that going to? Or
Yes, we have a welcome reward that you
Mhm.
see. It starts so the minimum. No, if you go down again, you
Is
write.
it down?
Yes, there is the reward system. You have a little bit.
There it is.
More. No, it was more. This is when you can stake, but there was more like the rewards. The other
You have to go up.
not up. Yeah. a
Oh,
little
is
bit
it back
more.
up?
Stop.
Yes, there.
Down.
One down, please.
Yes,
there.
that's it. That's
Oh,
it.
okay. Here we go. Okay.
And you see we have some rewards, welcome rewards, if people start to stake with us in the epoch 308. It was where we give an extra starting how high they enter our pool. And then we do the regular reward, which is calculated now for duration of 20 epochs. So you can easily see what you will get. And we will do it also if we don't mint a block.
Okay.
So
Now
The
just
last sentence, Tim, was very important. Maybe you can explain it, because I think we are the only pool that are doing this.
Yes, if we don't mint a block, you get your rewards. Usually you just get rewards if there's a block minted. And we like to get people into the pool. I think now we are around 1 million. So we will mint a block. If it's a little bit more, we will regularly every epoch have a block.
okay. So people don't need to keep an eye on how many blocks you're minting and all that kind of stuff.
No.
If they're in the pool, they're going to get a reward.
Yes.
If I'm reading this correctly, so this is 500 ADA to 5 IAMX. Is that correct? And
That's
each one.
the first five. The 5 IMX is a delegation, a welcome reward. We just had it in Epoch 308 when everything started. And afterward, you just get the regular rewards. So if you
Okay.
started in 308, it's 5 and 6 to 11. So you see 11 is the total reward if you stake 500 ADA for the duration of 20 epochs in the IAMX pool.
20 epochs. And now these are what you would call core tokens. These are the first tokens that are going to multiply. Do I understand that correctly?
Right.
Okay, so
right.
this is, you'd have like 6 tokens, but each one of these 6 tokens have the possibility of turning into 12.
Yes,
You have
with
12
the
lives.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah,
you look at what is it worth, and I just, we are very familiar, with the developed markets. And in order to do an identification process, the costs are around $10 or 10 euro without any VAT. Okay, this is what you just pay for this. So this is what you get. So you get one, but when it's continuously used, you have 12. So the good thing is about our token is that it has a comparable value today in a real world, in a real market, because every bank needs to do this. Every continuous obligations, when you do a liability insurance or whatever, they need to do this. And, we're just, substituting this because verifiers can, just rely on this pre-authentication process. And the costs for this are like, $10. And right now we are giving this another value in order to make it become a standard.
Right. Yeah, so it's already starting out with a real world value. But I just wanted to stress the point to the people that are listening, though, that these tokens, these are first generation tokens. These have not evolved yet. If we can use that word. So each one of these would be worth 12 tokens. So I just want to encourage everybody to go ahead and, this is the ground floor, right? And this is when you want to be involved on the first evolution of these tokens. Now, are these tokens going to be traded? Is there going to be, how is that going to work in the future as well?
When I talked about those balance, and I carefully listened to you, and I was really impressed that you just nailed it there because you understood the Fibonacci sequence. Balance also means that the value is only there when you have, purposes to use it. And therefore, in order to protect all the investors, we have set up a lockup period of 12 months, followed by a monthly release of 1/12 per month, where this can be traded. So this is, where we protect, because the demand of our token is incredibly high. We didn't think that so many people want it. We also didn't think that so many people would, understand how this can be used. And so when you're selling a certain amount, it's better to keep the balance also regarding of the amount that is in the market. Therefore, it's locked for 12 months. And after, so starting on month 13, you can sell 1/12. But this is it. And this helps you that the value is high and gets higher every month.
Yeah, this is very important too for new projects. To be honest with you, I really appreciate seeing this in new projects. When the founders are and the investors are willing to lock their money into something for 12 months. What if for anybody listening, what this allows is this makes it so that as soon as a coin doesn't hit the market and you buy it, then the founders drop the coin, sell out, take their money, and then you're stuck holding the bag. This keeps this is like a pump and dump prevention type deal where you get into a new project, you're all excited about it, you think it's going to go somewhere, and then all the founders drop their coins. So that is very encouraging, and I like to see that. I definitely like to see that with anything that I'm investing in. It shows commitment. You see commitment from the team that's working on it. So, and they have invested stake to actually build the company, because you gentlemen are the ones building the company, and you're invested in it yourself. Then it gives me reassurance that I should be invested in it. So, all right.
So basically, on the big picture, we are funding Europe out of our own pockets because, for example, my name is Tim, like Tim Brückmann, Tim Heidfeld. I'm 48 years old, so it's like, my fourth or fifth company that I'm building. So we have a track record. Therefore, we are putting in our own money to, fund the growth in Europe, in Africa, Asia, and other states. We're looking for investors, but we are into it every day for 14 hours. We are so motivated that we jump out of bed like at 6 a.m. in the morning, and we are really trying to make this a solution for all the people in the world to really make it work.
Well, I'm really excited about your project. Was there anything else that you wanted to talk about today? Is there anything that we didn't touch on that?
Yeah, I think we gave already a lot of information. So hopefully, we are open so especially Andre and me, we are open for your questions. You can drop us with Twitter, I think, Andre, we have a Discord channel and a Telegram channel. Perhaps you just get these out so people know where to address also questions, because I think it's a very complicated project we have. It's not usually we have coins, it's such a huge utility with our coins.
I want to thank you, Jonathan.
Andre, where can people dedicate their questions to?
We can't hear you.
Hello, you hear me?
There you go.
Excellent. You can say by the end of the weekend, we will have both Discord and Telegram up. We will be there, not only the moderators, but also people from the team and from the dev team to answer all the questions. We are also putting up an FAQ now, so it will be easier to jump in and get all the information in one place. So just in a few days, everything should be up and running.
All right. So and you'll have links on your website and on Twitter.
Yes.
And
we'll put everything online. Now you can use the email, to the single people of the team. We have our Instagram and email. You can just reach out directly. And if it's more like community, you can also reach Andre. And usually communication channels will be set up. We focused a lot on the product first, and we thought we don't have to tell people if there's no product. We have to have a quite really function product. So we started the communication after the proof of concept. This is also something special. I think a lot of people do it before. We thought, no, we talk to people after it, which perhaps is typical German, but we are like we are. Huh?
Again, you're already in at least 120 locations with kiosks, with physical booths for people to pick up IDs and stuff. So this is very impressive.
I want to take the chance, because to me it has been a more than expected, very, very valuable interview. I've met a person that has, you are very well informed. You really nailed. I've talked to many people. You have nailed it far better than anybody else. So from the bottom of my heart, Jonathan, thank you. All my respect that you have invested so much time into us. It was fascinating for me to receive the chance to talk to you in person.
Well, it's been my pleasure, gentlemen. I'm really excited about your
Thank you,
project.
sir.
I'm glad that such a team of capable people are doing this. This is something that needs to be done, and I appreciate your time, and I look forward to maybe meeting with you again, like you mentioned, in the future, and also being involved in the project any way that I can. So
Thanks
I
a lot.
really
That's
appreciate it.
great.
All
So
right, thank you, gentlemen.
you can always reach us if there's more. If you have questions on your side, we will. Yeah, let's stay in touch. Would be nice.
I will absolutely be in touch. So for anybody that's listening, I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you get involved in this project. This is a great project. Not investment advice, but in my opinion, this is a good project, and the team is well founded. So y'all are beautiful, and I will see you next time. Thank you, guys.